Hey YouTubers, I finally got the Nova done. I got a chevelle dropped off. I don't know, I think it's a 72. Just a paint job. This is this just got dropped off. So the first thing I gotta do is go around and wash all the greasy fingerprints off. The guy that's been doing this has been touching it with his greasy hands. Then I gotta wrap it up, get a good coat of primer on it, block it out with a guy coat so I can find all the highs and lows. And then paint it. You can see where he's molded everything in, which you know it's gonna crack because he didn't weld it. But it's just a quickie, he just wants it to look good and sell it. I have to sandblast these areas because there's no adhesion and the paint's built up 1/16 of an inch thick because of previous paint jobs. I'll look for any rust, like this. And I'll spray it with an acid and hopefully help it prevent it from coming back through. I'm not taking it all apart, just going to pull the doors, fenders are going to stay on it. Then I'm going to take the hood and the trunk lid off, paint those all separate. Do my best to try to take pictures along the way, but it's kind of a rush job, so I don't know how good that's going to work out. So I'll be back. I'm going to make a little note here. I'm getting ready to put primer on the car. It's all taped up, all washed, and as you saw it was fucking filthy. Which yeah, I gave the owner shit for, but he doesn't know any better. I'm going to tack it off first and put primer on it. The reason to tack it is you don't want the dust in the primer, but if you got dust or whatever laying on the car and you spray on top of that, it's not going to stick to the car. The primer I use is Marhide Ultimate 2K. Urethane primer is basically urethane primer. They're all pretty much made the same. The major difference is cost. This is like $80 sprayable gallon, which is that and a hardener. You also need a reducer. But what I like the most about this, other than the fact that it's a good product, it holds out nice, is it sands really nice. Where like PPG Omni, it's a good fucking rugged primer, but God, it's like sanding a brick. And it's, a couple $100 a gallon. And the DuPont Eurofill, that is, $300 a gallon plus another $40 to $50 for a hardener. DuPont's crazy on the prices. I've had a lot of people ask about mixing stuff. They make mixing cups and sticks, which they got a scale on them. Now this primer is a 4-1-1 mix. 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and 1 part reducer. So you find your 4-1-1 scale on your cup or your stick, and doing a whole car, I'll do the 13. If I was only going to do the hood, I'd probably do a 6 or 7. But anyway, your 4 parts primer would be this first scale. Your first 13 is your 4 part. This one, you bring it up to your 13 with your hardener, which would be your 1 part hardener, and the splash reducer would be your 13 for your 1 part hardener, for your reducer. Stir it up and spray it. And make a note on the guns. This is the one I use for primer. It's just a cheap piece of shit gun from either AutoZone or Advanced Auto, but I think Advanced Auto. I don't even think it even has a name on it. I want to say it was like an AmPro or something. There was this gun, another gun, and a small touch-up gun that came in some clear case for like $75. And for $75 you can't beat it. It fucking sprays nice. This has a big tip on it for primer. And this is the other gun that came in the kit. I got the air nozzle inside and the reducer. And this one's for like base coat, clear coat, or single stage. I think it's got a 1/4 tip on it. And the primer gun I think has, I think a 4 or a 7 on it. I don't remember, and it's so fucking dirty you can't see it, but whatever. Still sprays good. I've painted cars with it, and I sprayed with a Seda normally. It's an older model. Or a DeVilvis. And I gotta tell you, you know, once you're able to paint, you won't really notice the difference in the guns. You know, if you're doing your first paint job, a fucking $400 Seda is not gonna give you any better paint job than a $20 fucking gun that you buy at Walmart. You know? Anyway, I got a spray primer. Hey, I'm back. As you see, it's in guide coat. I just start blocking out. I can't sleep. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, but whatever. I got too stoned last night, went to bed early. But before I start blocking this out, I wanted to make a little note. I'm sanding it. I'm using, normally I used to use 3M, but fucking stuff costs so goddamn much now, so I'm using this other stuff. I don't know how to pronounce it. Carborundum, I guess. I'll just call it Carbo. The reason I switched to this is the fucking price. 3M is better. A piece of it will last longer. Doesn't plug up as bad. But 3M is $80 for that roll, where this is like $30. So even if I use twice as much, I'm still fucking saving. Primer. Well, actually all this chemicals, all the anything with a hardener. Clear coat. Even. There's a fucking ingredient called isocyanates, which is a bad motherfucker. Do not breathe it. A few winters ago, I got really fucking sick from breathing it from sanding. And yes, I know better, but in your fucking hurry or whatever. A lot of people wear a little paper snot box cover, a little dust mask. I've been using these, which are junk right now, because, well, you're supposed to keep them in a closed fucking bag or a big coffee can or something. And this, even with new pre-filters, all I breathe through it and it just burns my snot box. So it's junk. And I guess they have, like underneath these, in here, is carbon, like a carbon filter, which is, I assuming, is what's going bad now from being exposed to the open air instead of being sealed up. So I gotta get a new one. These, they average $30 to $50 depending on where you buy them and what brand you get. I usually like the 3M. Garrison makes one. Same thing, just a different shape on the ends. You know, they don't take the same pre-filters, because one's kind of roundy, one's more of a triangular shape. But each one, they work the same. It doesn't matter which one you buy. I don't remember which one costs more than the other. I think they're about the same price. Blocks. I use a Durablock and this old bastard. Now you can buy these. I think I got this at Napa, which I'm not big on buying stuff from Napa, but whatever. It's got a hard, well, semi-hard rubber padding on it. I don't know if you can see it. It's got like little squares built into it. This is pretty aggressive. It takes off primer quick. I fucking love it. And they make another one that's got like a thick pad with a blue vinyl thing to put the paper on. They suck. You don't want a big thick pad. You want something flat and firm. And that's why I like the Durablocks. These don't weigh it. They don't weigh nothing. You know? So you don't get tired all that much. Compared to these old dinosaurs that are made out of hard fucking rubber, which is like carrying a 35-inch BF Goodrich tire in your hand. And when you're blocking, you want to go in a crisscross pattern. You know, block out in a direction, then come back the other direction. Now what I'm doing with the guide coat is I'm sanding this off. In any place there's guide coat left, that means it's low. Now either get to the back side of it and tap it out a little bit to bring that low surface back out to the true surface. You know, if it's deep, and then get to the back of it. But if it's not that severe, just a low, you know, slight low spot, fill it with a putty, which is either, you know, glazing putty. And this is what I use. I use the Evercoat polyester glaze. I've always used it. I trust it. It's fucking awesome. They got newer stuff out from Sam or whoever. It's like Dolphin Glaze and, you know, whatever the name is. It's all the same. It's just a polyester fucking thin glazing putty. This isn't thick like Bondo. It's thin and watery, but not as watery as Dolphin Glaze. But yeah, anyway. When you're doing this at home, and I know you're gonna, in your garage, who the fuck doesn't? I've been doing it since the early 80s, late 70s. Wear respirators. You know, when I got sick a few winter, I couldn't do nothing for 3 months. And that was basically from inhaling dust from sanding. Because I'm pretty good about wearing them while I'm spraying. But anyway, how to get to sanding. Hand back. I don't know if I told you, but I'm using 180 on these blocks. But right in here, with all this short strand fiberglass, I think, and Bondo, I'm using 80 grit to take it down. And you can see where all those metal's poking through? Those are high spots. And you see where the primer still is? That's a low spot. So I gotta tap that out from the back side or smack some fucking glazing putty in, and same as there. We got a low streak right here. We got a bunch of spots over here. And you see something like this, there's just a few fucking slices of block. I was ready to bare metal. So we got quite a high spot there that I've been tapping down. And yes, I have several body hammers, but I like this little ball peen hammer the most. It doesn't take much to bring some of these down. You're not beating on them. You just, you know, lightly tap them and swipe the hammerhead at the same time. Helps to distribute the blow. I'd really like to take the fenders off this car, but the owner told me not to because this fender is absolute junk. And if he says it's absolute junk, trust me, it's fucking junk. And I guess he riveted a corner piece on this through here somewhere. Right here, if you can see it, kind of a bird back going on there, which I like to tap out from the back side, but it's got a mint headliner in it, so I'm not going to fuck with it. I'm just going to fill it with a glazing putty. Had a high spot here. I just kept sanding it because there's so much material on this car. I took a picture of an area back here. This car's got, I think it was 11 different coats on it right now. It's fucking gross. But he just wants to look good and sell it. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, I've been sanding for half hour today. And I'm not wearing a mask because it's fucking 4th of July and I can't buy one because no one's open. But just to give you an idea, just dug out of my snot box of the stuff that you ingest doing this without a mask. Don't eat that, by the way. They taste fucking horrible. But the problem is when you're breathing this in, same with the Bondo dust, as you're breathing this in, it's getting in your lungs and it will harden inside your lungs. You end up wheezing for the rest of your life, if not dying. I'm at the wheezing stage right now. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Okay, we're back with the chevelle. It's been, I don't know, a couple weeks since I've worked on it. Really seriously worked on it. I put a few hours in here and there after work. You know, I come home from doing this all day. I don't feel like doing shit sometimes. And the fucking heat, it's been a couple hundred degrees. Well, it's been, past 2 days it's been 100 degrees, which I don't like. So I can't do nothing in the heat. But it's not too bad right now. It's in the 80s. as you can see, the body line has a few low spots in it, because this fender is sculptured. The owner riveted on a lower front piece of this fender. You know, he made one fender out of two, and he doesn't weld, he just overlaps and rivets, then beats it into the hammer and fills it with mud. Still get a low spot here. Now I'm going to show you how to fix these lines. This line is really funky. What I do is I'll run tape right on that line, and I'll skim it with the glaze, pull the tape, then I'll hit the bottom part with the glaze to blend it into this lower part of the line. Okay, I got the tape run. Now what it is 2 layers on top of each other. And you need the 2 layers to build up the thickness for the filler. 1 layer won't do it. I think 2 will work. Okay, here it is done. Just gotta sand it now. But basically what you're doing in theory is just running a straight line to get your line. Do 2 at least, depending on how deep you're gonna put your filler. 2 or 3 overlaps of tape on each other. And as you can see, you just take some glaze and just run it right along your tape. Peel the tape, let this dry, then come back underneath your line without tape, or you can tape it, but I don't use tape. Then put your other piece in where you can blend it back into this fender. I don't know where I left off, but it was around the 4th or so. When I did some work, I primed the car, put a guide coat on it. Now I'm blocking it out with 180. Now I did this spot. I put 80 grit on, took a lot of Bondo out to get it to be half decent. And all the spots where I worked, I just reprimed those spots. I didn't reprime the whole car, just those spots, because the material buildup on this car is gross. So I'm trying to keep it down to a minimum. Then once I sand that spot with 180, I'll reprime this area. Then block that out, and the car is ready to paint. Okay, this is I don't know how many fucking days it is, probably 4 days into it. All the spots are fixed. Whole car's been blocked with 180. I pulled the sheet metal, except for the hood. I'm using the hood as a mask. Instead of pulling it off and taping the whole fucking hole up, I just leave it on. I'll pull the hood off and sand the edges inside and paint them when I paint the car. But I remember doing an update on it, so here it is. Alright, here we are, last coat of primer. Just gonna spray. I had to let the overspray settle. You see, it doesn't look too bad. Good enough for... Now I gotta pull the hood off, put the doors, everything up on stands, and do those and get those ready to paint. Then paint the piece of shit. I was gonna throw the fucking canoe in the duster and go catch some fish, but fucking raining, so probably just go to a friend's house and rip the guts out of a 350. But there it is. Hey, it's, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep. Had to do a water pump in the duster. But I wanted to show you this fucking door. Yeah, that's right. Fucking spray foam. You know, I don't understand people. Yeah, you got the chevelle painted. Still gotta do the trunk, hood, and doors. Here's that fender that was all fucked up. See, it looks pretty damn good. My computer is fucked up, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to post videos, but I've got a few that I've been waiting to put on, but I'm using a laptop that doesn't have a movie maker on it. It doesn't have enough space or RAM or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, as soon as I can, I'll get videos up.